We're now going to turn the time over to Queen Emily for a debrief.
You guys hear that word and go, okay. All that means is I just want to take a moment and talk to you guys and have you share anything that might have stood out to you tonight. Some of these things might have seemed like a little bit cheesy on the surface, right? Like you're carrying this rock around and then you walk over this little bridge. But you understand, I hope, that every one of these things is symbolic. So I would love to hear any insights that you may have had or anything that you thought about tonight.
So one thing that really stood out to me was probably the second place we went to when you're being told that we were going to go to battle. I thought that was really cool because I was thinking about the summit the whole time and how the boys, they go and like beat each other up. That's what was going through my mind. But also, I was thinking we are all technically we're all battling right now. Even though right now we're at some event, we're all battling something that's going through our life. And it was really cool because I just thought it was cool to see how well he played his character and how he put himself also into his character, not just himself.
Thank you.
I felt the spirit feel stronger than the fourth one, as she said. We are having challenges that we are facing, and they're preparing us for the future. And sometimes we just need to stand up and shine.
Awesome.
As I'm lugging this, this rock is evil. But at the same time, I'm carrying this rock around. And I realize that sometimes what we see as a burden, as a wall, as I listen to Joe, stuck, locked away, we see these things as evil and ask, God, why? Why did you give this to me? And at the same time, teaching us how to use it as a stepping stone.
As we were going through this, I don't know if it was part of the simulation or whatever. For some reason I thought it was in the rules that you could support someone else's burden as long as they were also holding on to it. And I just thought that was, it really explained it well because, when you support someone else, you take them on part of it. But you're also letting them take a little break from the full strain of their burden. They still feel it, but it's less. Appreciate it.
Awesome. How many of you had somebody help you with your burden? Wow, that's fantastic. Fantastic.
So mine was, when I got the burden, I was like, okay, yeah, I can do this. And then when we went to the Captain Moroni especially, I realized Captain Moroni has always kind of been my hero. And I felt that they really portrayed that character well. Just because, you know what, they had problems too. They had trials, they had things that they worried about. And I feel like too often we think of them as like far off characters that, they're great, they're wonderful, they were always perfect. But honestly, we all had trials, we all had those problems. And the ones who were great are simply the ones who overcame them. So.
Awesome.
Alright, I really love this. I love object lessons and applying it to myself directly and stuff. And writing one of my burdens down on this stone and then having it turn into a stepping stone was really powerful to me. And it helped me look at this burden of my life positively. So I really loved it. And I'm grateful to everybody.
That's great. Thank you. Oh, Peter, good heavens. Do you have lots of burdens, Peter?
The whole time I was making puns about my rock, and they were really good. They're like, oh boy, but essentially the burden was heavy, and so I was making light of it. And I think an important part of the healing process, that wasn't fun, that was a good analogy. I think an important part of being able to turn your burden into a stepping stone is being able to be humble about it and realizing that you do have a problem, and it's okay to admit that, because until you do, you're not going to be able to turn it into a stepping stone, and you're not going to be able to see for what it truly is. And so it's important to treat them for what they really are, but at the same time, not letting it defeat you.
That was fantastic. Well said.
Alright, so at the end, when we were all crossing the bridge, sorry, I have a sore throat, so if you can't hear me, I apologize, but at the end, when we were crossing the bridge, I just came up there and I pictured when I stepped onto the bridge that my old self was left behind. There's just like this gray, dark matter behind me, and then as I'm walking, I can see my spirit just reassembling. And then on the other side, as I step into my new self, right across from Daniel is our Savior, welcoming us into our new selves and just to our ultimate potential. Just now we can do good.
Fantastic. And that's why he's probably leaving on a mission before Sunday. Thank you for sharing all of your insights. I know that there's a lot of them that we didn't say out loud. I want you to look around at the people that are around you right now. We have a lot of new faces, which I think is just about as amazing. In fact, I want to do a show of hands. How many of you, is this your first summit event you've ever attended? Wow. Okay, how many of you, is this your first time applying for a leadership position at Summit? Even more. Wow. That deserves a cheer right there. So you might have noticed, those of you who are new, that we're all a little crazy here. We're all a little mad here. I like to call us a peculiar people, if you will. But I will tell you that the people that are around you right now, look at them again. These people that are around you are the ones who will help you transform your burdens into a stepping stone. Stare deeply into their eyes. No, I'm just kidding. Some of you already were doing that. That was a little creepy. But really, there are a few purposes that we have in Heroic Youth. We want you to come face to face with the hero that is inside of you. That's our number one purpose. Our number two purpose is we want you to help others to come face to face with the hero inside of them. And that is what you will do as you are a leader at one of our summits. And the third purpose that we have is for you to find like-minded people that you can go through this journey with together. So through those three things, you notice that we all need each other for every piece of it. Just like we needed every stone and every one of those burdens up here together to make a bridge. We did not make a bridge out of one piece. It was everybody's piece together. So thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing all of your gifts and your passion and your excitement and your energy and your little bit of crazy to join with ours. We really love you so much. I don't know if you guys have any idea, but we love you. Tonight, we'll finish up with some refreshments and some visiting time. I would like for you to please, because of our beautiful floor in here, if you're going to stay and visit, there is a spot right out here in the foyer against the wall for you to go stack your stones out there. So that they're not just, you don't have to carry them around with you and everything, so they're just out of the way until you leave. And then you can take them home with you at the end. Put them in your yard. They're a stepping stone. Put them in your garden. You'll get to see them and they'll remind you of the things you've learned here today and the challenges you're continuing to overcome. So thank you so much for coming. I think we need one more huzzah just because of awesomeness.